Hello and welcome to Garblag Games. I'm Pete. In a moment we'll go around and everyone will introduce who they are and who they're playing. This is a special surprise stream for our new show Starfall. It's our mashup of, Ben's mashup of D&D and Final Fantasy 7 and 10 sort of thing. So I'll pass you over to Ben in a moment. However, before I do, please don't forget to check out our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We also have a Discord with over 100 members talking about all things role-playing and lots going on there. We also have a Patreon and we have a lovely group of people who support us, one of whom has joined us on our stream tonight. But before I say any more, I think what I'll do is I will hand over to Ben so he can introduce himself and a little bit of what Starfall is about. Go for it.
Hello, I'm Ben, and I haven't GM'd on the channel for a little while, but I've been trying to get in where I can. So we've navigated our way onto Roll20 to give it a go from here. Now, I was tooling around with the magic system for Dungeons & Dragons, having a bit of a play, and I decided to start working on just a few minor tweaks, and it all cascaded out of control, as is often my way, and I ended up writing a whole setting instead, which is sort of an homage to Final Fantasy through the lens of Dungeons and Dragons. So it's got a lot of the classic tropes that you'd expect to see in Final Fantasy, magic stones, range powers. I'm hoping that we'll see some serious Final Fantasy-age from the player brigade, who I will introduce to you in just a moment. However, no, I'm going to introduce to you now. So first up, we've got Pete, who you may recognise from such other things as everything.
Hey up, my name's Ulrich, and I'm a dwarf. I go about digging in the holes and finding the ancient history of my people. So keep to yourself, keep out of my way, and I won't mess you up.
Now, the dwarves in Starfall are something of a dying race, so they tend to be quite curmudgeonly about that whole attitude to life thing. So I think Pete's kind of a shoe-in there. Next up, we have Sam, who's joining us from several other shows. Sam.
Yep, and I will be playing a half-elf paladin known as Finch. Definitely not a pirate. Definitely.
Yes, a paladin pirate.
Yep,
because
paladin. Paladin. Yep.
Paladin.
Of fate and fortune. I mean, totally not superstitious or, just generally lucky. Or, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So for the theology side of things in this game, I've decided to follow a sort of Buddhist-style dharmic path model with each of the primary alignments representing one of the major faiths. So see if you can guess which faith Sam is going to be playing through her character. It'll be a toughie. Next up, we have Colin, who you will recognise from his own show, the Scion game, which you should also check out if you haven't done already.
Thank you, Ben. Right, so yes, I'm playing Julian Vares. He is a sorcerer, although he'll never introduce himself as such. The setting having something of a distrust of arcane magic. So he is kind of a bit like a sort of hidden X-Man in some ways. Powers he doesn't entirely trust and that he doesn't reveal to people around him. He will introduce himself as a scientist and historian, as he has discovered that he has a passion for learning, and he kind of likes the idea of building a base of knowledge that can be his legacy to future generations.
Okay, next up we've got Andy, who is playing Gian, who is a little bit special as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Andy. I am playing Gian, as Ben said, who is a Warforged monk. So he is one of the slaves of the original Old Empire in this setting, who is on a quest because the Mother Forge has been destroyed, and he is essentially there will be no more Warforged unless they can get it fixed. So he's a follower of the Dharmic Path of the Bright Ember, which is all about construction and building and building things for the community and kind of the public good. So that's what he'll be doing.
And last but not least, we have our faceless heroic patron, Maurice.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Maurice, and I play Jeremiah Abbott, who is a cleric. He loves his food, he loves his drink, and there's always more food and drink around in the world, and therefore he gathered his meager possessions and ventures out into the world to spread the good word, heal some people, and have a few drinks.
Okay, excellent news. Right, so that's all the players. Let's take a look at where we're starting out. The world setting for Starfall is an archipelago of many, many islands where the old empire was flooded. Lots of the land is sunk beneath the waves. All that's left are shattered ruins from a colossal impact centuries ago where a rock from space smashed one of the moons apart and then crashed down, showering the entire planet with magical crystalline shards of varying different types. The people have rebuilt, but never to the same standard that the old empire lived to before. Lots of tiny islands, different power blocks have built up over time, and you will hopefully get to visit some of those when we start. We're starting on an independent island by the name of Aquil, which is what this shonky drawing down here is. I apologise to all of our arty patrons because I feel ashamed of subjecting you to my 6-year-old paint skills. I will do better. The island of Aquil is just to the north of the Free Island Alliance, which is one of the main power blocks in the setting. It's quite a small island. There are 3 villages, and there's a mine, which is located here. Whereupon a mine. Timbanic shards are being mined. That's one of the types of magical crystals. You've got an old empire ruin on the north edge of the island over here. And each town has its.
Are we on the same?
Not seeing me.
We're not
seeing your pointer moving around.
Oh,
there we go.
Is that
Oh
yes?
no, my pointer's not moving.
Yeah, try again.
Your little arrow.
There? Little arrow pointing there.
Now see.
Is that the ruin?
Pointing at a town. That's the town.
So that.
Going backwards and forwards.
No,
Yeah,
it's only when you release it that it
yeah.
updates for us.
Oh, right, there. Okie dokie, right,
So you have
with
to
you.
move and drop.
Still learning the ropes on roll.
Yeah.
Move and drop. So this is the town in which you will be starting. It's called La Tousse. It's quite a small town on the seafront with some fields just behind it. A simple place. And for one reason or another, all of your characters have ended up staying in the closest thing to a guest house they have, which is the Widow Osgood's guest house. Now, the Widow Osgood is a halfling, an ancient halfling, truly, truly old. You're not entirely sure she has any teeth in her head. Grizzled old lady, bent almost in half, stands only about 2 feet tall, but her bonded wolf still lives and still lives with her. And so people don't give her any trouble. She likes to take in waifs and strays who are abandoned in and around the island, and quite often has a place for people to stay. For a little bit of help around the house, for a little bit of coin, for this, that, and the other, she will happily put people up. It's not luxurious, but the island is fairly warm, and so it's not too inhospitable. She's also quite well known for her brewing skills.
Well, I think I know why Jeremiah's there then.
And produces a very fine line in rum from the sugarcane plantations nearby.
Oh.
So you've been staying there for anywhere from a month, in some cases, probably Finch, to only a few days, Julian, and anywhere in between that sort of time range. because the island itself it's far away from everywhere. It's not involved in major politics. It's not the sort of place where people necessarily end up. They get a consortium visit from the airships selling goods maybe once or twice a month. Generally only to one of the towns at a time, though. So it's fairly quiet. It's very much a backwater. And that's where we begin. So if you want to introduce yourselves to one another, that would be a great start. Away you go.
Way.
Good morning, everyone.
All right.
Okay, so Julian's quite a fairly short, fairly scrawny guy, human. Dark hair, very pale eyes. Tends to wear fairly standard sort of travelling clothes, nothing particularly fancy. One thing that he always has about him is his waxed leather satchel, in which he apparently keeps books. You will have seen him taking books out and reading them, writing in them, so forth.
Quite the opposite is Jeremiah, because Jeremiah is around 31 years old. He's a very corpulent cleric, wears his robes, his traveling robes, and he doesn't seem to wear any weapons, although he does sometimes mention that he's got a mace lying around somewhere. But what he does has is his holy book of scriptures, which he has categorized, and he is actually opening his book on every known occasion and saying a prayer or some wisdom from his faith. He also likes to drink, so I think that when the story is starting out, he'll probably be in the corner somewhere using another half-full pint. Perhaps with the dwarf, yes. Because he loves drinking contests.
Nothing says breakfast quite like a drinking contest.
What about games? Can I interest you in a game? Maybe dice games. Yeah, Finch will have dice games, possibly card games. That thing with the cups where you can switch to. Just generally entertaining. Maybe do her keep. Maybe just cheating the patrons. Who knows? We'll see. So she's kind of not scrawny, but a bit scruffy around the edges. Got a shock of white hair. Quite tanned. Spends a lot of time outside. Got tattoos and stuff up her arms. And yeah, just kind of comes and goes. Might live here, you're not really sure, but you know, she's fairly familiar with the place and seems to know what she's doing. So let's just assume that she does.
Yeah, Gian is a construct of carved wood and leather. He wears a amber sash and large, like, prayer bead round his neck. Large, about slightly smaller than fist-sized spheres. That he goes through when he does his meditation, and a sash of the colours of the orange colour of the burnt ember. He also carries smith's tools, and he's quite reserved. He's quite stiff in terms of he's not very social.
It's a bit wooden.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, had to. You know,
No.
I'm a dad. I get to make shit jokes.
That's fine. You've got the license then.
Yes.
That's at least 3 of you with that.
He has a tendency to fiddle with things, take them apart. Sometimes he's able to put them back together again.
That sounds like fun.
Sounds like a 10-year-old.
Maybe he is.
I imagine Julian's possibly been putting together some of the things you failed to put back together.
Yeah, you will know he is definitely significantly older than all of you, because of, you'll have heard that there won't be the mother forge. So,
She's been around a while.
Yeah.
Well, the grumpy old dwarf, who's probably keeping to himself a little bit, he has got lots of gear and equipment on him at all times. various knives, bundles of strange-looking long pointy tools that might be lockpicks and such like. He's got his hair, which is kind of greying quite extensively, tied back in like a Q ponytail kind of thing down his back. And his beard is heavily stylized into two prongs that stick forward from his big jaw. He's well weathered. He's obviously been out and about a lot and down underground a lot. He's kind of all in leathers, and they're kind of dark browns, and he seems quite a grumpy, but he's always doing something. He's always just coming back into town. He's like found something, maybe talking to Gian occasionally about the odd thing that needs repairing has been found. Enjoying a drink with the abbot at this point, and he knows very much to stay away from anyone who offers a game of cups.
Julian would have expected.
Yeah, Gian would be quite old because looking at the timeline, the Mother Forge was destroyed in the year 40 after Starfall, and we currently sit at the year 120 after Starfall. So
Can't be less than
knocking on a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm approaching that. I won't tell you how old I am. If you ask me, I will tell you to fuck off.
But yes, if you were born after the destruction of the Mother Forge, he's older than you. Just any question.
Right, so you're sat around in the Widow Osgood's open-fronted guest house, sort of some of you picking up a bit of breakfast, a couple of you knocking back early morning cocktails.
I'm more likely to be leaning up against a wall somewhere, probably, than sitting.
Julian is fiddling with a piece of some mechanical device that looks like a fragment of something bigger, and he's kind of poking at it with tools.
In which case, I'm in a position where I can watch what you're doing, interestedly.
He appears to be trying to figure out how to take this thing apart, whatever it is.
All right, can I ask everybody to please make a perception roll?
I believe it. Do I actually?
Would you prefer real dice, fake dice, either?
Either or. If you want to roll real dice, you can roll real dice. If you want to use the functionality of the fabulous system we have here.
I will see if I can work out.
Because I'm streaming.
Where is perception on the...
It's a skill.
Yes, so it is.
Oh, hello.
Did that roll?
It's not shown up here.
And our players had just made a perception check to see if they could notice a strange sound coming from nearby. And as it looks from here, Ulrich notices absolutely nothing. But Finch, Gian, and Julian all seem to have noticed something. What about you, Maurice? What's Jeremiah's perception roll?
Jeremiah rolled a... Is it the first one or the second one I'm supposed to say?
First one.
First one. 6.
Oh.
So that's not...
About as oblivious as Alaric, then. That's what you get for drinking at breakfast
just
time.
a question. That roll appears to be a deception roll, not a perception roll. I expect you'd be rather better at the latter than the former.
That is true. That's a deception roll.
Because perception's based on wisdom and you're a cleric. So
I can't see
good
the
spot.
second one.
Perception is on the skill list.
Perception. Oh, here we go.
It's the reason I didn't count it when I was looking at things earlier.
Oh, splendid. Oh, yes, you definitely did notice that.
Oh, blimey.
So, it looks like everyone except Alaric notices a droning
I'm staring
sound.
at the wolf.
A droning sound.
A droning sound coming from the fields just outside of town.
That sounds odd.
It's quite a deep, thrumming, bassy drone.
I will ask, because I'm new here, so I'm going to sort of peer around, see if anyone else is reacting, and particularly look to the lady of the house to see if she appears to be reacting. Because surely
she's a little hard of hearing, so she doesn't appear to have noticed.
How's anyone else reacting who's been here longer than me?
I'm going to go and check it out.
What do airships sound like? Is that Is it
Not like
distinctly
this.
different from that? Right, okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely not an airship.
Okay. Just wanted to check because
follow the elf.
yeah.
A few minutes later, the sound is accompanied by a much easier to hear scream, although Alaric still doesn't seem to notice. And there are screaming and running people coming from the fields outside of town,
That's not a
running
good sign.
towards the town.
In which
Do I hear
case,
that bit?
I will be picking up my pace. I was kind of slowly drifting in the direction that Julian
where
and
you
Finch
going?
went. So,
Trouble outside.
some screaming.
I'm
Trouble
going
at
to
mill.
slow down
Muffs
a
off.
little bit and load my crossbow.
I'll put my bow
Okay,
out.
what you see above the fields, buzzing around, are some absolutely enormous bees. I mean, people get freaked out by a bee this big, but these ones are about the size of a large dog.
How many?
There's 4 of them, and they seem to be sort of dipping down into the fields and sort of grabbing at sugarcane.
Well,
So the air is also starting to fill with the sweet smell of crushed sugarcane.
Oh,
so Julian will come around and see this, and he'll just sort of pause for a moment, not really ready. He's got a loaded crossbow by this stage. And he's looking at them, sort of going, "This is, well, that's new."
Yes, enormous bees buzzing around. Villagers are crawling out of the sugarcane and trying then to sprint in a crouch back to the town.
Does
So
anyone
far, the bees
as
do
we come
seem
out,
to
does
be
anyone
ignored.
hurting it? Are the bees hurting anyone, or are they just scaring everyone?
They seem to be scaring everyone rather
Yeah.
than hurting anyone.
Okay.
I'm probably going to stay by the edge of the village, gesturing, getting people back behind.
I'm
One
happy
of the
to stand behind the Warforge
Yeah, probably.
while I study
cover.
while I study these bees, because this is fascinating.
One of the running villagers grabs at Father Jeremiah and he says, "Father, you've got to help. They've got Darin. He's trapped.
Well,
The bees. The bees!"
I'm covered in bees.
You just wanted to, didn't you?
I had to. Sorry.
Yes.
You
Especially
better
after
hope you're
that.
not.
who's
bees
talking to me? Is it one of the villagers or one
It's one of the villagers, yes.
people from the field?
Yeah, one of the young men of the village.
Ulrich
You think
disappeared
that-
into the sugarcane.
I turn
You think his
around
name is
to the others
Aaron?
and say, well, we're probably going to have to help them then. Nothing like a good morning drink and then bashing in a few heads of some bees.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Father. And then with that, he legs it back into the town to get away.
Right. Okay. I will bring my light hammer out from my belt and have it ready to throw.
See, this is why I don't like coming inland.
This isn't normal.
No, these are fascinating.
Fascinating
bloody
is
big
not the
bees.
word that he was using.
Think of all the
Interesting,
honey
no doubt.
and all the mead we can make.
Oh, the two of you are a right double act.
I'll go round to the side. You guys take from here, and I'm going to disappear into the sugarcane and with my bow drawn to try and get an advantageous position.
Okay. I'm going to advance a bit more slowly because I think both of us have got ranged. So
Yeah,
Well,
I was going to kind of
my
fan
bow-
out to one side rather than charge at them.
I'm going to shepherd any remaining villagers and be like, "Come on, yep, it's fine, just leave. They'll leave you alone. It'll be fine. Just, and kind of shuffle them that way while working out who the hell they're talking about is being got and what they're doing.
yeah, trying to look for them.
Grab some broken sugarcane and chew on it while while we're like helping.
Okay, so as you start to make your way into the sugarcane, your visibility drops quite quickly. It's grown very, very high because it's coming up to the end of summer.
Uh-huh.
So it's just about ready for harvest, which is probably what those villagers were doing, harvesting some of the sugarcane.
Ah, those good people.
It's fine. That's what the bees are doing too.
That is also what the bees appear to be doing.
I'll tuck into my robes and produce my mace. And I'll just walk forwards and see if I can get a bit closer to the bees. I know they've got my sides, so they've got them covered. So I'll just have a quick look what they're doing.
Okay, as you get closer to the bees, it does look like they're trying to harvest some sugarcane in their mouth parts, but they are also buzzing around a figure on the floor, the boy Aaron. He's on the floor next to what looks to be a dying bee. Its stinger is protruding from between his shoulder blades, and it's easily the size of a dagger.
Ooh. Ooh, that's not too bad. Can I get to Aaron, or is he conscious? Can I see if he's conscious?
It doesn't appear to be conscious. His face is kind of swollen and reddish.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm going to walk up with Jeremiah and say, should I pull it out? Referring to the sting.
Yeah, I'll walk with you, and if any of these
You're
bees
probably then getting within the loop of bees. I think.
Yep. I am.
Can I be near a sort of fanned around, but looking in their direction?
So
if a bee comes near them, I'm gonna shoot it.
Okie dokie.
I am pretty much ignoring them. I am focusing on removing what's agitating them.
Okay. And who's your sanctuary for, Maurice?
Sorry,
Jeremiah's sanctuary.
I pressed the button a bit too quickly, I think. But if we're getting close to the bees, I'm casting them on my partner.
Okay.
That'd be me then, I think. Gian. Yeah.
Gian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So you bash out a prayer from the holy book and invoke the protection of a sanctuary spell on Gian, and then sort of make your way towards the figure of the boy. As you get close, the bees do begin to see you as a threat, and one of them heads towards you. So can we get some initiative, please?
Okay.
Yeah.
Shooting a bow and arrow or a Gatling gun there?
Tommy gun. Oh no, sorry.
I may have rolled a 1. It's fine, I was hanging back anyway.
Did I?
Yeah, we don't have tokens and stuff yet, so it's just informed me that I wanted to send the result of this to the turn tracker, but no valid token was selected.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, I'm getting that as well. Oh, that's awkward. It looks like it did register it twice. I don't know what you want to do with that.
So I'm not
Would you
actually
take the first
casting
one?
that spell, I was just trying to look at what it does. Please do not cast.
You're running away.
Running away already.
And I've
a fight.
got 2 different initiative rolls.
Well, we take the first one.
Oh, okay. Right. Boo.
It is the worst. But
Yeah. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
does make sense. Yeah, I just thought that I wanted to check whether that spell was self-only or self and other people.
I believe it is self-only.
It is self-only as it turns out, but I was hoping to look at it, not broadcast it to everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Because I totally don't do magic. Okay,
Hey, don't worry.
I'm not doing
Nope.
magic.
Yeah.
I don't think the viewers know we don't know what we're doing.
They do now.
They do now, yeah. Okay, so on that note, it's Finch who gets to act first as the bees come bearing down towards Jeremiah.
Well, I can't really just stand here and let them have a go at him. So I'm going to run around and just make loads of noise and try and get their attention. Run around and flail a bit.
Hey, you bees!
Maybe, I don't know, chuck stones at them or something.
Your
Just
mother was
generally.
a hornet, and your
Plus, I have got some
An
sugarcane,
elderflower.
so you know.
So you start flinging little bits of half-nibbled sugarcane at them
Yeah,
and
or
waving
like
it around.
rocks or
Shouting at
whatever,
them.
just generally being annoying.
One of the bees does peel off towards you at that. It was the one that was going to go for Father Jeremiah.
Excellent.
So there's only 3 bees left for him to worry about now.
Great. I'm helping.
Ulrich, you're next.
What bees can I see in the air and shoot with my bow?
You can see 2 of the bees that are still buzzing. Well, you can see any 2 of the 3 bees that are still buzzing around the cleared area where the boy and the Warforged and the priest are.
Bee number 2 then.
Bee number 2. Open fire.
Right, here we go.
Or not.
Bring my character sheet up.
Hopefully not.
And short bow.
Yes, I wasn't intending to use that. I wasn't intending to use that spell in the field.
I got a 22.
That's definitely going to do the job. That's a spectacular shot. Thwang.
Now,
Your arrow
was it
does how much damage?
was it aware of me? Does that count as a sneak attack?
Wait.
That counts as a sneak attack because it was not aware of you.
In which case, it is this plus 3. 14 points of damage.
Yowza! You punched that bee out of the sky,
Fucking bee.
straight through its compound eye,
Nice.
out through its midsection, ripping one of its wings, and it spirals down to the ground,
That one's
leaking
mine.
ichor out of its many wounds, which is impressive when you only took 1 shot.
1 arrow, 3 wounds. What happened? Surely there was another firer.
I'm an under grassy knoll.
It split on
quite
impact
pleased
and
my
caused
first
2
attack
other
was-
wounds.
Flesh out arrows.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bees are next, and I don't know how to do a secret roll without you lot knowing.
Do slash GM.
GM roll.
Slash GM roll. D20. Oh, good, you can't see that.
No.
We can't see that, indeed.
20?
Right.
Ben, it doesn't
Jeremiah,
work. You
what
just
is
type in
your
20. That
armor
doesn't count.
class? I didn't do that.
15.
14, did you say?
15.
15. Then the bee crashes into you, but is unable to stab through your many layers of robes and skin and whatever armor you've got tucked in between them.
I'm assuming there's some armor in there.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Meanwhile, another bee who's going for Finch. What's your armor class?
16.
16?
Apparently.
Good lord.
That's what it says on the sheet.
You're a nimble little so-and-so.
Elf.
Paladin as well.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Armor is their thing.
The bee is not so great at cornering as it comes at you, and a simple sidestep, and it buzzes right past you.
I've played
Close
this game
enough so
before.
you can feel the wind from it. Makes you feel a little bit like a matador if they had those in this setting.
Probably
Do I
some.
have a cape?
And-
I totally have a cape. Ha!
No.
It's not red by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, it's there. I can wave it, flail around. It's all good.
Cool. Who's up next?
And the final bee also tries to attack Jeremiah
No.
because he's still the main threat in their space, but it is so enraged that it flies down and hits the ground just in front of where he's standing, because that was an incompetent bee.
Incompetent
Maybe.
eyes.
Maybe it was just drunk on sugar.
Maybe it must be. That's what it
Must
is.
be.
Clearly drunk on sugar. Jeremiah, it's your turn. What do you wish to do?
I've already taken out my mace, and the one that tried to hit me and doesn't fly past me, I tried to hit him.
It's right there. You know, just boonk.
So, what do I have to do?
Roll d20.
Okay.
Or you can you can click on the attack in your character sheet.
Yeah.
And that should do the same trick.
It'll actually give the calculations as well.
Yeah, do all your modifiers and everything, yeah.
Ooh.
Where is the attack?
With
my mace. Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah.
It's the
Hey. So I don't get it. Is that a roll of 10 or a roll of 19?
That's a roll of 10,
10.
but it's always the way the system's set up is it's always rolling twice, so that if you have an advantage
If you
or
get
disadvantage,
right, I see.
you can take that. You immediately have 2 rolls, and you can pick highest or lowest.
Right, so a roll of 10. This bee is very, very tough. You hit it, but your mace kind of slides off of its carapace, thick, wiry hairs deflecting your blow. And then Gian.
Okay, I am going to. Am I within punching range of the bee that's next to Jeremiah?
Yes.
In which case, I am going to do a chop at it with an armed.
So you're a monk, which means you get to do a bonus action of another attack as well, which is the monk flurry of blows thing. If you use a monk type attack, you can then do an unarmed attack as a.
In which case, I will follow up with another one as well. Then probably, but yeah. So it will get 2 punches in quick succession, or
Is that a key
probably
point?
chops.
So I think it's just a thing that monks have.
Cool.
Okay, so
I don't know monks very well.
Flurry of blows.
I don't know. I don't know them at all. This is new for me. So
I'm going on. I'm looking at entirely the wrong thing. So give me a moment. In fact, what am I doing that for?
I've got unarmed defense, martial arts, living construct,
It's
composite
under
plating.
martial arts.
It's part of martial arts, is it? Okay. I just wanted to check it was still valid for me.
Immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
Oh, did I? I made.
Oh, okay.
So you get to make 3 attacks.
Okay, so it does cost a key point, but you get 2 extra attacks.
Yeah.
So I completely misread it.
Okay.
And you've got advantage now because you're opposite sides of the bee with Jeremiah.
So yeah, okay, I will do that. I will spend that key point.
Right, so that's a hit.
Oh, so you need the damage now, don't you?
Yes.
There is actually a separate thing under martial arts. What I'm seeing on D&D Beyond is when you use the attack action with an unarmed strike or monk weapon on your turn, you can make 1 unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Oh, okay. Just like a character with 2 weapons in their hands, they can make a bonus.
Yeah.
So you can do that for free if you want to, Andy.
And then key power flurry of blows. If you've got the key power flurry of blows,
okay.
you only get that at 2nd level.
I'll just
So
leave
you're
it
only
to
taking
then.
the free action one. Okay, so yeah, they both hit.
So if you do both,
Okay, so you need
4 attacks in a round.
right. Okay,
I
yeah,
think
that
they
makes
both
sense.
count as a bonus action. You only get 1 bonus action.
So it's replacing your 1 bonus. With
Yeah.
1d4 plus 3.
However, that
And
you
then,
do appear to have hit it twice.
oh no, slash roll.
You didn't slash roll. You just told us to roll 1d4 plus 3.
No.
I refuse.
No, it's
I mean, I
much
can if
down,
you want.
it's down to me to roll it.
I can if you want to. But, sorry.
Well, I could get out the caltrops and do it. Yes, if you want.
There we go. So 7 points of damage on your first.
Oh, whoops.
Right.
Take 1 off it because that's plus 4. So 7 again.
7 and 7, nice.
Okay, so that's 14. That's another bee put in its place. Its place being the ground, apparently.
Yep.
Yeah, where Jeremiah's mace is glanced off it, you can see weak points around its carapace, and you dart in and perform 2 strikes right into the connecting point between abdomen and thorax, tearing it in half,
Oh, wow.
Nice.
leaving the sting flailing around, attached only by intestines.
Yeah.
Make sure it doesn't hit me.
Not with its intestines.
Yeah,
With
that-
its sting. If it's flailing around. Okay.
Sorry, I keep leaning forwards because there's a cat demanding attention on my knees.
Oh, right. No, mine are out the room.
And that takes us back up to the top, and it's...
What about me?
Just a minute. Oh, yeah, what about you? My bad.
I thought
Do
you
your
were talking
thing.
to your cat for a minute there.
I know I rolled crap initiative, but I didn't actually roll initiative.
Yes, you did. Sorry.
What can I see at this point? Because one of them's gone off after Finch, who is maybe a little bit over there. And 2 of them.
At this point, Finch is dancing around one of the bees effortlessly. Gian has just punched one in half. One's gone down with an arrow in it. There are 2 remaining bees. They do seem to be quite enraged.
Well, I will put. Basically, if I were to try and put a crossbow bolt in the one attacking either of these 2, am I going to suffer penalties for shooting into? Am I going to have problems to avoid shooting them?
Not really, because they're kind of above them.
Okay, well, I'll go for the one over Finch then, because these 2 seem to be handling it. So I'll go for the one over Finch.
Okay.
So that is nice, natural 20.
Woo!
Ooh.
Nice.
So I don't know whether that does.
Easy to say that when you're rolling them not on the screen. Sorry.
Hey.
I'm only winding you up.
24 total, natural 20.
Nice.
Okay, well, that's definitely a hit. So roll to see if it's critical.
What does that mean? Indeed.
Oh, just criticals.
I think it's the same as in 3.5.
You don't have to confirm a critical.
Just roll again, and if it.
Oh, you don't have to confirm anymore.
You don't have to confirm.
I've been making my players confirm for months.
You roll the
It's
dice
critical.
of your damage twice, but you only have your modifier once. So double all your damage dice, and then add your modifier on.
2d8 plus 2. I get not bad. 10 total.
10, splendid. It is definitely injured. It falls from the sky. It's definitely not flying anywhere for a while, but it is crawling around on the ground, drunkenly bumbling its way towards Finch. Whose go is next?
Are they bumblebee bees, or are they like honeybees, or what is going on? Because I'm curious.
They look to be honeybees rather than bumblebees. So they're not the big, fat, round ones.
Okay.
They are the sort of giant, scary, stingy ones. Only they're not, really, because they're the size of a dog. So whatever they are, they're unusual.
Well,
really enormous.
Widow Osgood has said I'm not allowed any additional pets in the guest house. So, and given that it is injured, I might attempt to put it out of its misery.
As opposed to feeding it a little bit of sugar water and nursing it back to health.
I have got a sugar cane, but I think it's probably past that. So yeah, I'm probably just going to attempt to stab it up. There we go.
Get stabby then.
I clicked a thing.
And it came up.
Hey!
Wow.
Scimitar.
Oh, scimitars are outrageous.
Are they? Wicked.
They're up there with rapiers for being just horrendous amounts of damage.
I just wanted a curvy sword.
Yeah, I believe you.
My first incarnation of this character had a rapier, but then I re-rolled as a sorcerer, so I don't get that.
All right, roll your damage then, Sam, because that will definitely do the job.
Can I click on that? Or do I have to do a thing?
You type / roll or you click on it. Yeah,
I couldn't make it roll when I clicked on it.
I had a similar problem.
I clicked on it.
No
it
doubt
did not like
That's why I got a ton of
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, you don't click on the number. You can click on it on the list of dice.
Oh, right. Just make a roll.
What list of dice?
Just type / roll d whatever plus whatever.
That's not that. Can I just click on this?
Or you can possibly click on.
Oh no, that doesn't work.
Just rolls again.
Or in the top.
We're learning how to use Roll20. For future
Or
tutorials,
in the
please
top
remember to
left.
like and subscribe.
There's a button. There's a dice button, so you can
Oh yeah, there is. I forgot that was there.
like that.
That was the wrong way around.
Yeah, that's the wrong /.
Other slash.
It's the right / at work. I'm just saying. I'm going to click on the button.
Yes, it's the do something / in most programming languages, but not in.
Yeah.
That
on this.
was not right.
That was
Wow.
right. You did not
What
want
did
to
I-
roll.
What did I roll on?
You rolled 2d6 rather than 1d6.
Oh, that's not what
They
it
were
was
both-
supposed to be. It was.
And they were
That's
both
all right.
snake dice.
That'll do. It's a 1 + 2.
There you go.
Ben, make
So
your
is
mind
that
up which
7?
rolls your
Yes.
So hang on,
So it's supposed to be 1d6 + 2.
Right.
I pressed the wrong button.
1d6, so
Even if I take the 1, that's still enough to finish off this
Very
horrendously.
I put it out of its misery.
The blow of fat, because people always mispronounce coup de grace as coup de grace, which means something completely different.
Ooh.
And not
Ulrich.
Photograph.
No.
Pate or something, isn't it?
I'm not making foie gras out of bees.
I don't know what the French word for bee is.
Don't know.
Something similar to apiary, something
We're all sitting in front of something with the sum of human
apiary, I
knowledge.
think.
Yeah, if only there was some way we could find this out. However, Ulrich, your go is next, and there is
Right.
still one bee looming menacingly above Jeremiah.
Apparently it's Abe.
Abai, I think I'd pronounce that.
Abiel.
You
Priest, get your head down.
A-L-L-E.
I'm going to fire again.
You wouldn't pronounce the L's in that.
Oh, you wouldn't? Okay.
Right, here we go. I'm doing character sheet that people can see if they're still watching the stream.
Ooh, short bow.
Oh,
And you miss.
I really missed.
That's a natural one.
That's a natural one.
Does that mean one of us has to make a...
Does that mean I lose my arrow? Or my bow breaks?
I think that means make another attack, and we'll see if it hits Jeremiah.
Oh no.
Okay. I told him to keep his head down.
Don't shoot Maurice.
Tell him to put my head down. You did warn him.
Ben, if you make me kill Maurice's character in this, he's unaware of my attack. 12. Nah.
That won't kill him because his armor class is better than that.
That's nice.
That
That's
picture has got distinctly more picture on it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Your face. I missed
You're right.
everything.
Good. Well, not good.
I missed
for
the
Whizzes
field.
past Jeremiah's hair, just through the curls.
No, it's alright.
That was
He's
close.
bald on top, right?
Oh, well, that's fine then.
He is now. I've completed the look for him.
It's a safety feature. Oh, Pete.
Okay, and here comes the bee.
The bee, just the one.
The bee. The remaining bee. And it lands a sting on Jeremiah,
No.
Oh,
crashes into you, and
Doing
thrusts its
47
sting.
points of damage.
It's not
Jeremiah
that bad.
explodes.
Jeremiah explodes.
we didn't notice the skulls
Ding.
next to its name,
Last famous word.
where its level should be noted. You know?
4 points of damage to
I like the way you
Jeremiah
rolled
as
that
the.
so we could see it. That was good.
Yeah.
Keep you honest.
Keep me honest, yeah. I figured I probably didn't need to fudge it, so even at maximum roll, it wasn't going to kill him. But yes, the sting jabs into you, and you will need to make a Constitution save with a difficulty of 11, or you might actually get killed. Whoops.
So it's the modifier bit you click on, I think, on the character
No,
sheet.
there's a Constitution save. There's a save section. The reason
Oh,
you
right, yeah.
click on that is that it applies your proficiency bonus to 2 of them.
Right.
I don't know whether con is one of the ones that.
I'm going to do the Constitution.
Nice.
Great, that'll do it. That'll do nicely.
That's beating a 20. Sorry, that's beating an 11 with a 20.
Yeah.
We've
Right.
lost Oliver.
Stay classy up, Aventner. Sorry, there are silly people driving badly outside. Can you take another 7 points of damage,
He
though,
passed
Jeremiah?
He passed the roll.
He passed the roll, so he only takes the half poison damage
Oh,
rather than the full poison damage. Oh, no, tell a lie. Sorry, it's 5, not 7,
that's
because I
better.
forgot to half it properly.
You failed to divide
I
something.
failed to divide by 2.
So I get the 4 and 5.
Yes.
Ouch.
The second 5 is intensely burning
I'm glad that
sting
didn't hit me.
pain.
Because that would put me on the floor.
Well,
No wonder the boy's unconscious.
Or dead. Is Jeremiah unconscious?
I'm still I'm still standing. I've got 2 hit points left.
Ooh, it's tough.
Yeah.
It is your go now, Jeremiah. Maurice. Jeremiah's go. Maurice. There we go.
So what I'm going to do is he doesn't seem to be hurt. Or am I mistaken? The bee doesn't seem...
The bee, no, this bee is uninjured and very, very angry.
Oh, so it's not it stings you, it dies, like some bees.
No, it's bigger and tougher than that.
Yep.
Whatever hit the kid was obviously a slightly botched roll from the bee's part.
Oh.
What I'm going to do is I am going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Good plan!
Let's see if I can make this...
D8 plus wisdom modifier.
Why isn't he doing this? Hang on. Oh, cast at what level? 1. Thank you very much.
Oh, there we go.
That'll help.
That'll help.
That'll help.
Undo.
Not quite undo. It was 9,
Haha,
wasn't it?
bee.
Control
Sucks
Z.
to be you.
Yes.
Probably, if it's Gian's action.
Right, it is indeed Jan's action.
Right, I am going to do a couple of attacks at this bee. If it's within range for me.
Yep.
Let's see how I do with the rolls this time. Did that roll 1?
That'll definitely do the job.
That'll do 1. And then I'll roll the other attack as well, and then I'll do the damage.
Is that 25, a natural 20?
Yep.
And another one.
Oh, yeah, that was 2, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got 2 natural 20s, so 2 critical hits.
Oh my lord!
Oh.
What? No, I haven't.
That bee is having a bad
Yeah,
day.
you've got advantage.
You've got advantage because you're flanking with Jeremiah.
Right,
So you
so
get
it
the
takes the
highest
right
you can
hand.
do. So it's 2 crits.
Wow,
Ow.
okay. So is that
2d4
more damage
plus,
then?
2d4
Yes.
plus 3, twice. So you roll the dice twice.
So 4d4 plus
So
6.
44 plus 6.
Yeah.
Do it.
I'll do 2d4 plus 3 twice, I think.
Fine.
So that's
So your
6.
first crit was less than your non-crit damage.
So that's 6 and 8.
Which
And having now learnt the anatomy of these bees, you are clearly a master in bee
bee
food.
dismemberment.
This is why I said on the chat that it wasn't going to face Jihad that much. But,
Yeah, so you wade in and a couple of strikes, and you've
decapitated
quite
it,
gratuitous.
probably.
really horrible. What happens to this bee? You kind of punch it in
Dismembered
the
it.
eye.
Of course, I want to save
so your hand
these,
is
really,
covered
but not dog-sized ones.
about in like bee brains and gore.
I'm just thinking, you know when you were saying earlier that Jan has this tendency to take things apart and maybe he can put them back together again?
Not really.
Nope.
Yes, but
Give it a go.
he still wants to get the sting out of the boy first. But yes, he probably will have a go at
Yes,
dissecting
well, the
whatever
bees
he's-
are now down. So if you want to proceed to removing the sting from the boy, you could do that.
Yep.
Does anybody have knowledge nature as a skill?
No.
No, but I do want to go and fetch back the stinger from the
I
one I killed.
I have a +1 in nature.
I've got a
Okay.
-1 because I am not a ranger.
Can you do it?
I have probably a total of +3 because it's a knowledge skill.
Yeah, I've got +2
And,
to
and my
nature.
int's pretty good. But
Well, if anybody, depending on what you want to do, I mean, if you're doing something else, like I know Andy, you wanted to get the sting out of the boy.
Yeah.
So whose nature roll was that?
That was mine. Still.
That was your. Well, you can't really do it because
Oh, okay,
you're
fine.
fetching the
Julian
sting out of
is
the
I'm
boy.
going to fetch a sting as well, so I'm not.
Okay, you're harvesting a sting as well,
Julian
then,
is
Pete.
going to be
It was more a case.
and then having a look at these bees because he's fascinated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So-
that's my
Maurice,
next
what are you
action,
gonna do?
but, Yeah.
I'm gonna help Gian because I have medicine skill.
And healing magic.
And healing magic, and I'll probably try to see. First, I'm going to determine if the boy's still alive.
Okay, so that's a medicine check.
Let's see, a medicine. Perhaps it's best to remove my own stinger first.
It depends on how close you think the boy is to death. Will the
he's hot, which isn't usually something that dead people do.
It takes a while for a dead
It's a sunny
person to
day.
cool down.
But it's probably fever.
Are there any bees that have dropped that other people aren't going to harvest the stingers from? Because if so,
Nobody else
I'm
appears to be harvesting
I'm not
stingers.
I'm not harvesting the stingers. I'm removing the stinger from the boy.
okay, well I'll have that one then out of your hand as I go past.
I just dropped it to one side, so yeah.
And I caught it on the way down.
There's probably one that Julian appears to be in the process of examining and possibly taking apart. So,
Yeah, Julian's poking one apart, so you could probably try and harvest three of the others.
You're a human, aren't you?
Yes.
And younger than me, probably, because I'm a dwarf.
Oh, yeah. He
Lad,
looks
you
like
keeping
a
that?
youngish human.
Lad, you keeping that?
I was mostly just trying to figure out what made this thing so big. Is this a magical effect? Or
You don't want that out of it.
Sharpened?
I think I fancy tying them to my arrows and seeing if does anything.
Can you give me a minute to see if it... I'll have a look at it and see if I can get any information out of it, and then, sure.
There's one over there.
I'll go over there.
So yes, Ben, I am spending some time looking at these bees and trying to figure out why they're huge.
Okay.
You know what?
So
never mind the stingers. If we can find the hive, that's a lot of honey. That's mead.
That's a lot of
Do you like mead?
That's a lot of bees as well.
I love mead.
It depends whether it was just ones that left the hive that went big, or whether it's the whole hive that's big.
Yes, that is true.
I think Maurice was trying to say something.
No. I was just saying that I was trying to help Gian, still trying to recover the boy. But I just noticed that I rolled a 1. It says 7, but it's red. I don't know if it the system is new to me.
Oh yeah,
that's showing it's
Roll 20 highlights, ones and
I rolled
maximums.
a 1, and I think that's a botch, isn't it?
Only on attack rolls.
only on attack. I mean, on a skill roll, it's
It's
just
just a very low roll.
Failure.
Okay.
Medicine plus 6. That's nice.
yeah. Right. So Pete, can you make a nature roll to try and salvage
will.
these sting?
Oh well, here we go.
Or survival if you've got that. I don't mind.
Nature's preferred for me. Oh!
I rolled a 1.
I'm not having.
Right. Yeah, you salvaged 3 stingers. They're great.
What
Lovely.
are you doing?
Ace. Fantastic. Good job.
Got really messy hands. Just like torn it all apart.
And they're starting to puff up.
He didn't actually take the glands out, but he's hacked the stings. Like, yeah, spiky bits. No glands.
No poison. Just the pointy bits. No.
How's the boy?
He lives.
The boy is red-faced, puffy, and swollen, but now that they've removed the sting from him, he does seem to be alive at the very least. Poisoned and paralysed,
Yeah,
and down for the
you
count.
might want to use more.
Should we get him back to the village? GM will ask Jeremiah.
Yes. What we're going to do is we're going to first patch him up a bit, and then take him to the church or the chapel or whatever there is in this village as quickly as possible.
I'm quite willing to carry him, but you do what you need to do first.
Him up?
Yes, I'm going to do this.
Oh, yeah.
That'll help.
And
The poison pushes backwards out of his wound and leaks out in a clear brownish fluid.
Yeah.
Yep.
And his face starts to go down, and he takes one long, deep breath through an airway that's been swollen and shut for some time. And then he just sort of lapses into unconsciousness.
At that point, I scoop him up and begin
Seeing it.
carrying him
Not dead. We'll go with
at
not
reasonable speed. And
Mostly
I have
dead.
16 decks, so reasonable speed back to the village.
Okay. And everybody else?
dead. Still studying a bee. If everyone else
Yeah.
looks like they're running off, I might ask someone to stay behind in
No,
case.
I'm going to hang around for a
Still
bit.
chewing on some sugarcane.
Yeah, I'm going to hang around a bit and look. This idea of a big beehive has got me interested.
You like the idea of a giant honey hive.
Well, lots of tunnels that are geometrically shaped. It's appealing to a dwarf. I'm gonna like look around the area, like in the mid distance. Are there any kind of geographical features that I think could? Is there like a big set of caves over to one area, or a ravine, or something that may? Be...
What you've got, I haven't coloured it all the way in, but let me just move this. This
Maybe a
big
mine.
green bit,
Mhm.
this big green bit here is all forest. So from the trees up here, it just continues down through this area all the way down to here.
Mhm.
There is usually a road through
From the one village
the
to
Is it
forest
that little
that
bit,
goes
kind of
from-
white bit that goes to the black scribble?
from that village. There's a road that comes down the coast to here and around, but there's also a forest path here that leads
Yep.
through the forest to the next nearest village
Which is
of
the one
Shomi.
Shimmy.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to go there, you'd be better off just getting a ship.
Hmm.
There is a path through the woods.
Ship.
Oh, path through the woods. They're always nice and safe.
For your
I've,
bees?
I've laid a few of those myself, Ben. The mist creeps in.
Giant one-eyed chaos beasts.
That might be a little bit tough for party of one first level character.
Yeah.
So I can't see anything. There's no like craggy
You
area.
can't see
that I think
anything
would be any-
nearby.
Okay.
No, if there is anything, it's probably in the forest.
Sure.
But you don't entirely know which direction the bees came from, because when you got there, they were already there.
We could try asking the villagers
That was
who
going to be my
went
next
back
comment.
to town,
Yeah.
which is away from the forest.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of. Can you wait a little bit? How am I progressing
I'll-
with my investigation of these bees?
I'll stay lad. Don't worry.
Make an Arcana check on the sly,
Okay.
because obviously you're not a sorcerer. You're checking it.
Wait, no, I don't actually get Arcana from being a sorcerer. I got Arcana from being a sage.
Oh, fair enough then. It's fine.
I've studied the history, magical engineering and physical engineering and physical sciences and history and all this kind of stuff at the college. Anyway, yes, 23.
All right. Well, in that case, this looks like the work of one of the types of shards, tymbanic shards,
Which is the ones they mine here.
which are the ones they mine not too far away.
Yeah.
A brown tymbanic shard can have unprecedented growth effects once it's refined.
Okay. Do I find any shards in them? Would I expect to
You
find any?
don't find any shards in these bees,
So,
but it's not unreasonable to suggest that if there were a shard in the hive, it could affect all of the bees.
right. Okay. Well, I will finish my examination, and on a nature roll of 17, possibly actually produce the only poison-filled stinger that Olivic is going to have, and hand it to him.
Worth bearing in mind as well that you are aware on that roll that these bees tend to produce chemicals that summon other bees when they die.
I'm going to go with leaving now. So we should get back to the town. And people shouldn't. Here you go. And people shouldn't stick around here for a while. There may be more bees soon. Also, I'm pretty sure I know. Well, I've got a guess as to why this has happened.
Okay.
They mine tymbanic shards here. If a probably brown shard got into their hive, that might cause this effect.
So it could be the whole hive.
It'll be a refined shard, really. So how a refined shard would get into the hive, I don't know. Whether someone placed it there.
Almost implies deliberate.
You're not there.
Oh, I'm not there. Okay, sorry.
But that's a thing that could happen, and that could cause that. Dead bees attract bees, however, so let's get out of here.
Okay,
Aye.
sounds like a plan.
Well, maybe I'll keep an eye out with my bow for a little while.
Yeah.
Just in case. Keep
that.
the villagers safe.
Yeah. I should go back and find, I don't know,
Shelter. Cover.
shelter, but
doors.
also, find the others. And, I mean, you lot all kind of chased out here and were keen on saving things and stopping these bees, which is great. Personally, I came out here because I wanted to know what was going on, but, if I can help, I can. I will. I mean, one of those.
Okay, so back at the village, Gian and Jeremiah have carried the boy Aaron into a sort of house of healing.
Quick question. I've got this one, Shelter of the Faithful, because I'm an acolyte, and it says here that you, at the end, while near one of your temples, you can call upon the priests for assistance, provided the assistant you ask for is not hazardous and you remain in good standing with your temple. Is one of the the House of Healing that we are now affiliated with my?
Yes, it is. Most towns and villages will have a house of healing which is affiliated with the Dharmic path of
Field and forest.
Forest and field and forest, yeah, because those are the priests that live closest to the people. So yes, there is a small hut which is walled in on all sides, circular in structure, just on the outside edge of the town where people can go for healing, and there is a priest of field and forest in residence.
Then I will point Gian out because he's carrying the boy. I will point him out where the House of Healing is, and we'll ask one of the priests to take a look at the boy.
I'll just carry him as directed and place him on wherever they want him placed.
Place him down here, please, says a young woman who's quite well spoken for a field and forest acolyte.
Just figured I'd post that for your reference, Andy.
Oh, thanks.
What's happened to the boy? He's been stabbed, poisoned?
Both. By a huge bee.
People have been saying that there were bees in the fields. Let me take a look. And she starts going to town on it, doing a little bit of medicine, some lesser healing. And she soon has the boy back in a comfortable and healthy enough position that he's out of any immediate danger. Well, thank you for bringing him here. Probably best that he rests now. Thank you.
Yes,
I will.
It's nothing short of what we are, what we must do in our profession and our calling.
Quite right, Father.
Thank you for your assistance.
I try to. Gian is a construct, right? But I can still give him a little slap on the shoulder and say thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Okay. Right, and now I want to speak with Julian about what you found out about those bees.
Cool.
Okay, so back at the guesting house.
Yep.
Yeah, I probably will have headed back. Well, I would have headed back into town and then tried to figure out. I probably would have asked around for the Warforge, because people will notice a Warforge.
Yeah. It's a fairly safe bet. Some had said they'd seen him in the House of Healing.
Okay. Well, I'll probably
but by the time you get to the House of Healing, he's on his way back to the guest house.
Well,
so you sort of
cross paths and
crossing paths. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just doing. Yeah.
Did any villagers have any information about
It wasn't a
giant
bot.
beehives?
Okay. No, Gian is not going out to the field to get a bee to examine.
Okay.
So, anyway, cool. So Julian and Gian and Jeremiah and Finch and Ulrich, were you also tagging along?
I think Ulrich was going around town to ask some of the villagers what they'd seen.
Right.
Just if
Cool.
they knew where
What's
there were
Finch?
more bees.
I'll tag with the dwarf because I'm curious as to what he's up to.
Cool.
Is anyone actually watching the fields to make sure we don't get
Ulrich
more
watched for a
bees
little
coming?
while before
You'll
he came back.
hear
Yeah,
them coming.
Maybe 10
probably.
minutes.
True.
But could I have picked off a few of their wings
Cool.
as
So,
well,
yeah,
I was going to say fun, but that's not fun. Just for like, they obviously probably look quite cool. So.
Trophies.
Yeah, they do. They look quite cool. They're
Hmm.
all shiny and rainbowy.
Hmm.
Okay, so yeah, you head around town. People are starting to cautiously peek out of their houses again.
Okay.
I'd stay in there for now, or at least not go back to the fields yet, just in case. Take the rest of the day off. It's probably safer.
Advice. Perhaps get a couple of drinks.
If you say so. How's the boy? Did you get the boy out?
He's with the healer. She thinks he needs more rest.
Okay, good. At least he's up and about. Look, thank you so much. What you've done here is so helpful. We're incredibly grateful. I don't know that we could have handled that many of them without taking some serious losses. So you've done us a great service this day.
Happy to help. I mean,
Of course, it
what
was
small
fine.
part I did. I mean, he kind of points at the others, but they did most of it.
Although,
Mostly points at the Warforged.
we do need to find out a bit more about what caused this and why.
I have some ideas on that.
Giant bees is not something we've ever seen. It's not usual thing. There's never been. It's the end of summer. We get bees, but they're usually little things. Nothing like that. Those are enormous.
So my theory is that somehow a refined brown. What did you say the word was, Ben?
Tympanic.
Tympanic, thank you. I was about to get it wrong. A refined brown tympanic shard has found its way into a beehive.
Those things are insanely valuable, though. Why would somebody waste one?
That, I don't know. All I can tell you is that's my best guess at what had happened, given that we're on a... we are somewhere with
That's
a
very
tympanic
strange.
shard mine, and...
Yeah, but most of the shards that come out of there end up just getting made into currency.
Then you think there's actually a hive out there?
There wasn't any sign of anything in the bees. It's that, or there's some kind of magic someone's used to grow them, but that probably would have been temporary. And they seemed to be acting on natural instincts rather than any kind of direction. If someone was going to be actively casting something like that, you'd assume they'd have some kind of control over them as well. They'd be directing them to a purpose rather than just, go and randomly terrorize some villagers, which, is not nice, but there'd be a directed purpose.
They were being bees.
They were just being bees, exactly. And so it looks... I don't think anyone's actively directing them, which is why I'm thinking something in the hive, and then the hive's been left to, I don't know, protect something? Maybe they figured a bunch of giant bees would be pretty good guard dogs.
They're about dog size.
And poisonous, and can fly, and are very, protective of their hive.
Yes. Sounds like a team needs to be put together to find this hive and...
Well, I'd be interested in seeing.
ideally, shrink it.
But as I said, don't really count me particularly towards the ability to deal with a large number of giant bees factor of this. I might be able to figure out what's going on, but in terms of fighting those things, I've got a crossbow.
Mm.
I mean, I hit one of them, but
Yes, well, I was pretty lucky. I wouldn't want to take on a whole swarm.
you seem to do pretty well.
Okay, meanwhile, Pete and Sam, you're mooching around the town looking for people to question.
Yes.
What did you see?
Yeah, generally asking fleeing people, where did the beasts come from? Did they come from a particular part of the forest? Was it from the forest? All those kinds of things, just trying to get some general information.
Yeah, well, it all happened so fast. There wasn't much that we could do.
It's bloody big
Aaron,
bees, man. Where do they come
he's
from?
mad, that boy. They came out of the forest
Aye.
to the east,
Why did they
near
attack
the old
this lad?
path. We don't know why they attacked. They were attacking everyone. It was like, and then Aaron, he just sliced one of them with his sickle, and then they went for him.
Daft.
And the rest of us, we just ran. But yeah, they came up the old forest path.
Aye. Right.
Runs east to show me.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. Hope you're okay. Everyone okay?
Yeah, we're all right now. But if you guys hadn't been here, we'd probably all be dead or starving.
Probably. Right. Well, get yourself about your business. Turn around and walk away. Just like very matter of fact and gruffly.
Not the field business. Leave that for at least today.
Oh, I'm not going back there.
No. Where's he?
I've walked away about 10 paces and then I wait for a finch. Bloody strange, these bees.
Like, yeah.
I don't want to stand around talking to a bloody villager all day. Or getting to the price of grain and corn and all kinds of crap.